Welcome to the show, sir. We are a show full of diversity, trying to educate new Canadians and especially youth on our systems, let it be the municipal system, the provincial, or the federal. Here we are in the office of our councillor, Mr. Ron Starr. Welcome once again.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
You're always welcome, and as I see, you are much involved as far as the South Asian community go. Why I would only target South Asian community? I am mostly attached to that community from my newspaper side or the TV show side. How do you find the South Asian community as immigrants? Let's start with that.
Well, first of all, I find that they're very involved in the community. Most of them want to be integrated. They want to be part of a diverse community. They want to be involved insofar as what the whole community is all about. And that's important because they pay taxes here. And you have to realize if you pay taxes to a city or any place else, you should be involved. And by getting involved, being part of the community, having a say in what goes on is, to me anyway, is very important.
Coming back to you and drifting away from the topic we were discussing, what made you get involved as a community leader first and then end up being a councillor? What was your point of involvement?
Originally, I was involved simply as a volunteer. I got involved in the volunteer many, many years ago, simply because I thought that if I do business here, if I have my children educated here in Mississauga, if I get involved in a lot of things, then I should give back to the community. So I got involved in a lot of, many diverse areas. I was president of the Board of Trade. I got involved with the Symphony. I was vice chairman of the Credit Valley Hospital. I got involved with many youth groups, the Children's Festival, and I did that because I wanted to give back to the community and be part of it. And I think that's another thing that, even whether it's a South Asian community, a European community, or whoever else that moves to this great city of ours, they have to get involved and be part of it.
Let's come back to your background in particular. Who, in fact, is Ron Starr and what is his involvement with our youth?
My background basically, it goes right back to when I have two daughters, when my two children were involved in sports at a very young age. And they decided they'd like to get into baseball and volleyball and the usual sports that children do when they're 5, 6, 8 years old. I got involved, first of all, by watching, and then I said, okay, maybe I can be a coach. And then maybe I can help out with the organization and be a volunteer, and then into fundraising, and then helping them do things together as a community and working with a lot of other parents. That's the type of person I believe in, giving back to the community because I live and work here. And if I can do just a little bit, which makes it better for all of us, then I've benefited. You've benefited. We've all benefited.
Be part of the question. How do we get the youth involved and get abreast with them on their issues?
First of all, I think what I'd like to do in Ward 6, and we're addressing that right now, as a matter of fact, across the city, is we're asking youth, what do you want your city to do for you? Tell us what areas. And as a matter of fact, one thing as simple as a cricket pitch. We got a letter from one of the South Asian young people saying, we need a cricket pitch. Guess what? After 4 or 5 weeks of myself investigating and taking a look at what we're going to do, they're going to get their cricket pitch. They don't know this yet, but they're going to get it within the next few weeks, right in Ward 6 at the White Clover Park.
So in general, the message I'm getting, or the understanding I'm having in this conversation, that the city and the city of Mississauga in particular does listen to the youth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what would be the forums of interaction? How do you interact with the youth at the city level normally?
We have what we call our youth forum, and this is a group of young people that are from all parts of the city, from all backgrounds, all diverse cultures. They're there, and it's part of the, there's a forum actually that they get together and they work among themselves.
What would be that forum?
It's a youth, it's actually, that's what it's called, the youth forum.
And how often would they meet?
They meet monthly.
They meet
monthly.
In any particular neighborhood or across the
We're
board?
across the city,
Across the
and
city.
what we can do that if anybody was really interested and when they watch the program, they can get a hold of our office, and we can direct them if they'd like to get involved with the group. They are always looking for new directors. It's youth helping youth. It's not, our people at the older level saying, "Well, you should do this." We're asking youth what they want to do.
And how do you put your message across to the youth? How do you let them know that we are having a gathering once a month, or whatever the case may be, or what neck of the woods it may be? How do you get to them?
If they go onto the city website,
I mean, if they go on the city website, what if they don't go on the city website? Then how do you get to them?
well, probably that's if they don't use the social media, for instance, or if they don't watch TV, or if they don't go onto the city website and among their friends, then I don't know how they'll get together because it's very difficult unless
No,
they
sir.
communicate.
Listening to or getting in touch with the social media is a different thing. Going to one particular website, and that is the city website, which usually doesn't attract the youth,
Yeah.
any government website. So how do you put the word across? By you, I mean the city. How does the city put the word across?
That's a very good question. And what the city does is try to communicate again through the city websites, but now we're starting to use social media. We're starting to go on Twitter. We're starting to communicate with the young people with their own ways of communication. And that's just started in the last year.
Okay, since the last year, the city is making an effort to get connected with other social medias.
Yes.
How would you get connected, or how would you suggest to get connected with the ethnic communities other than the youth also? Because there are people out there living in communities whose English is not the first language for them, or probably they end up not speaking very good English, or reading or writing for that matter. So what is the way out in reaching out to them?
Well, one of the ways we're taking a look at right now is to try to get it through the printed media also. And by printed media, I mean even papers like which one you're very familiar with was the Pakistani Times, and there's many papers like this throughout the city. We're starting to take a look at, as a matter of fact, we have a study coming forward, how should we be working with the printed media to get the message across? Because many times we don't advertise in these papers.
Sure. The reason for me asking you this question was that we have had community meetings, and community meetings, I mean at the community level, no government involvement. The people that gave us the feedback, and I'm talking day-to-day people from grassroots levels, they say that the government, and I'm not blaming just the
Yes.
municipal government, the government in general has failed to connect with the common masses, and they feel disinterested, and they are very uneducated at how the governments work. It's a new place for them, a new home that's called Canada, a new neighborhood, let it be Brampton, Mississauga, whatever the case may be.
Yes.
So who is going to get to know them? Because the first involvement of a new immigrant is the municipalities.
Yes.
Then comes the provincial and federal. So you, being from an immigrant background yourself, as we have
Yes.
had conversations, do you think there is a lack of communication existing?
I think it's probably not a lack of communication, it's the right communication. Because I think in many cases, people aren't either accessing, whether it's printed media, they're not going to social media, they're not watching TV insofar as the right forum for themselves to find these areas of interest. And I think we have to do a better job of getting more information out. Even myself, I do a newsletter, I do emails, but I can't get in my ward, for instance, 79,000 people live here in Ward 6. I have 23,000 houses. I have a newsletter that goes out. I also have other information pieces that go out. I do a voice drop to people saying there's events going on. And still people say, I don't know what's going on in Ward 6 or the city. It's a matter of trying to get as much and more information out, more and more. And it's, you bring up a very good point, but if people, if they ignore their newspapers, if they ignore printed media, if they don't listen, it's very difficult for us to get the message through. So we'll try to do a better job of it.
As I have suggested to Brampton, where my neck of the woods is, where I live,
Yes.
Brampton City Hall, that shouldn't town hall style meetings be encouraged with different communities all year round just to understand their needs by the city?
I agree with that, and as a matter of fact, in Ward 6, we're looking at that starting this fall. We're going to start doing regular meetings because that's been brought up not only by yourself but other people saying, you know, can we get together? We've already had a couple in localized areas, but you see, a town hall meeting, when you get a ward as large as Ward 6 and some of the other wards, you have to do it in specific neighborhood areas.
Yeah, the neighborhoods could always be
Yeah.
divided.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be an issue in today's day and age.
And that's
I
what
guess
we're
so.
going to be doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do
I've
have
done,
a
oh yes,
concern for that?
oh yes, I have a concern. And matter of fact, we've already done several meetings like that, and it's unfortunate because we did in one case we tried to do a safe city meeting. We distributed flyers, we emailed, and we probably did it to 1,000 homes in one particular area, and we had 12 people show up.
Over a period of time, and I do say a year to 2 years, I've been observing you in particular. You are very accessible. One can easily come and narrate to you, talk to you. But do you think other city councils have access to the general public the same way? I'm not trying to put you on a spot. In general, what is your opinion?
In many instances, people aren't as accessible. It's a different style of way they try to govern. Me, I believe in talking to the people. I believe in any event. I'll deliver, whether it's a birthday card or whether it's a function to go to, whether it's a celebration of some sort, whether it's a sports opening. I go to these because that's what people elected me to do, is to be part of their community. And if other councillors, whether it's in Mississauga or other cities, don't choose to do that, then they're missing the boat. They really, should not be running their offices that way. You have to be out there and know what the grassroots level people, what the average person is thinking. And with me, I talk to people all the time. My average functions, for instance, on a Saturday tomorrow, I have 5 functions tomorrow. I mean, some of them is a drop-in, some of them is a run, some of, it's a walkathon for maybe a disease, for MS, but then I meet 300-400 people from the community that basically are concerned about a particular area.
Okay. Ending this conversation for today, what would be your message, A, to the youth, B, to the folks in general?
To the youth, I would say you have forums within the schools that you're going to. If you're going to school, anything that indicates that there are volunteer activities or sports activities, or whether it's debating or robotics. Some of the nicest young people I've met from many backgrounds, by the way, is into some things like just simple mechanical robotics. And this is a movement that's catching on in high schools all across the country, getting involved with mechanical, if you can imagine, with robotics and robots and whatever else, but all these kids coming together, working on projects, and it's just amazing. There's sports, and they should get involved. They shouldn't get just at home working on their BlackBerries. To me, they should only have the BlackBerries 2 hours a day or whatever. There's so many things that they can do. So that's my advice, basically. Get involved in your community. Get involved with other people. And get away from those handheld machines, which, we all get caught up on them. But at the same time, do other things and see what other activities are available to you. The city of Mississauga, for instance, and the Region of Peel have all kinds of activities. I mean, we have a book that's thick, that allows you different activities. And that's not only for the youth, it's for seniors, for all of us, if we want to do that. Many young people don't take advantage of it. And so it's up to us to get that message out. The rest of my message is for all of us, get involved in the community. I know it's difficult for immigrants coming into the country. And don't forget, in Peel Region, we're absorbing 75 people every day. A lot of people don't know that number, but that's what it is. 75 people. When we finish this conversation by tomorrow this time, there'll be 75 new people living in Peel region between Brampton and here. And that's been going on year after year after year. So we, as politicians, have to recognize that fact. I mean, I have a little bit of empathy for that because I didn't speak English until I was 4 years old. So I know a little bit about that. You know, it's not so, it's not as bad now, of course, but you know what, we're all immigrants, and I think we have to make sure that our city, whether it's Brampton or Mississauga or Guelph or whatever, are the best cities we live in. And,
Absolutely, without a shadow of doubt.
And to me, let's all be part of it. That's my big message to anybody out there. Let's be part of it, you know.
Thank you very much. On this note, I'll end from Ron Starr. His message is integration, understanding each other, and mixing up with one another. Thank you very much once again for your time and letting us be here.
Yeah, thank you.